Godzilla is fuming. He cannot believe someone actually stole his crystals. Rodan walks with him in silence. Not a lot of kaiju know about this. But the crystals were a valuable paint material that were given to Godzilla as a gift from Manda, from some secret civilization of ancient water kaiju, apparently only Manda has seen. Godzilla was told that they had some sort of magical property, but Godzilla still has yet to see what those are, with the exception of bringing him more money. All he can think about is getting out of the hollow earth and going as quickly as he can by sea. I know this is gonna be a very stupid question, but, are you okay? Do you need time to think about—
Wow, you must be psychic, because you're right, that is a very stupid question.
Rodan nods his head, understanding.
Okay.
Oh, there they are. Godzilla!
For crying out loud, what the hell?
Behemoth and Methuselah, lagging behind, quickly approach Godzilla, trying to get his attention as though he's not standing right in front of them.
Oh, my legs.
Alright, I know this is gonna sound crazy as hell, but y'all gotta come see this. We found something and it wasn't there before.
Listen, Sewer Mop, I'm kind of preoccupied at the moment. I need to go somewhere. I don't have time for all your antics.
But you gotta come see this, Rodan. You at least gotta come as well, cause when I tell you I found something crazy, I mean crazy.
Oh, here we go.
Godzilla whirls on Behemoth, causing Behemoth to slide as he's trying to stop quickly before crashing into Godzilla's face. Godzilla doesn't move an inch and waits for Behemoth to stop sliding.
I know this often slips your fucking mind, right? But I am the king. And when I say that I don't have time for your shit, I mean that. I mean that, right? Or did you need me to remind you why you need to listen when I talk?
Behemoth quickly looks at Methuselah with his mouth open, ready to say something.
Don't look at him, look at me. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
do you hear what I'm saying?
Behemoth's eyes narrow.
Of course I hear what you're saying, Godzilla, but Good! Glad we had this talk. See you later.
We'll be back later, Behemoth. Whatever it is, you can tell us then, okay? But trust me, you don't want to be in his line of sight right now. He's a really, really bad time.
Behemoth rolls his eyes and looks to Methuselah.
Well, maybe you can come with us, Rodan. I mean, if you see it, then,
He ain't gonna come, Methuselah. He's his dog. He's gonna go wherever his master goes.
Rodan slows down from walking for a second and turns back to look at the other kaiju.
Okay, I take offense to that, first of all. And second of all, you're right, I do have to go with him in case he gets into some shit. I have to have his back. That is my job. Like I said, I'm pretty sure whatever it is can wait. But this thing that we're doing cannot. Sorry, guys.
Behemoth snarls and spits, and he waits for Rodan to get some distance away.
You can forget about that documentary, because you ain't gonna be part of it. I'm gonna take all the credit. Me and Marlon and Thusi here. What's your dumb, brown-nosing ass? That's why the skin crumpling off of you looks like shit.
Mothra is sitting back and drinking some concoction when she's been so out of it the last few days. Mothra has a little pocket in her throat vacuum that allows storage of minerals. When it gets full, she spits out the waste, and when it comes to the kaiju equivalent of alcohol, it works well to intoxicate her. Leo, the digger kaiju, comes around while doing some chores and carrying something large in his hands. He sees her and drops the box.
oh, it's heavy. What's wrong with you?
He asks, looking Mothra up and down. She says nothing.
Okay then, well, I noticed there's a lot of activity with the kaiju, and there are rumors that there's been a murder. You heard about anything about that?
Mothra chuckles. There's always a murder, Leo.
Yeah, but I just noticed, I may be on something, but it seems as though it's directly tied to Godzilla.
Look into my eyes, Leo.
It's kind of hard not to, because they just out there, you know what I mean? You got the weirdest looking eyes I ever seen on a kaiju.
Okay, well, look at them anyway. I don't care.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. I mean, I thought you was the queen of monsters and shit, and we should always tell you what's going down.
Yeah, but at this particular time, I don't care. Leo raises an eyebrow, picks up his box, and continues walking, and shakes his head. He sees Marley working on something, and he walks up to her while putting the box down and starts taking out stuff.
Marley.
Yeah? Hey, Leo. Oh, I didn't even know it was you. What's going on?
Have you been to see Mothra lately?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just talked to her. I never seen her like that. Something's up with her.
I mean, I think she seemed fine to me, just a little tired, but you mean like she's sick?
I don't know, but you need to go take care of that. It don't look good.
Alright, thanks for letting me know, Leo.
Mm-hmm. And Tim, how could someone be that insufferable? You know what I mean? Like, that's not the way you handle situations with your subjects, as you like to call them. You see, if I was king, Behemoth, do not engage in that type of talk. That's treason. Treason my missing trunk, please. The only reason he's still king is because most of the kaiju are afraid of his scaly behind. You're right. Most people do fear him, but there are a lot of us who do respect him. What is there to respect? He talks down to everyone and thinks he's actually better than everybody. How do you expect to get people to respect you if you don't respect them? Well, they didn't choose him because he respected them. Everyone chose him because he's the best representative. For what? Dictatorship? The Kaiju Society has always been a dictatorship, Behemoth. Oh, and I suppose you're never going to agree that it needs to change. I don't believe so, because in all my years, when everyone gets a say, nothing is ever done. Well, just remember that people didn't choose Godzilla. He kills anyone who exercises their choice.
Methuselah looks up at Behemoth.
He didn't kill you today. Yeah, but if I pushed the issue, he would've. That is how meaningful our lives are to him.
Behemoth keeps walking onward, nodding to Methuselah a good night. With his waving, large, bright tusks, he disappears into the darkness. Methuselah smiles at his old friend and continues walking towards an opening from the hollow earth that leads to the outside. After going through the transition, he ends up on the outside of the mountain, the huge mountain where he makes his home at the top in his cave. He ambles slowly up the hill, eager to get home. Methuselah lifts up his head to view his cave. He doesn't need to see well to identify his home. He remembers a time when he was Alpha, leading everyone in a great migration, and then later, a fight against kaiju who came from the unknown. He remembers the sights. He remembers the sounds, all who he loved. As he aged, he became more one with the environment, being able to navigate his way by simply listening to the songs the trees sang, and the sound of the water being absorbed throughout the earth. In his mind, he would recall a tiny Godzilla who could barely talk. He remembered how Godzilla smelled as an infant, and Methuselah also remembered watching over him for a time in his life when the young Godzilla didn't even know of Methuselah. What scared Methuselah the most was losing those memories. It scared him when 500 years ago, he slightly woke up to realize that after all of his memories came back, they weren't all his memories. Many were missing. And when people have been alive for as long as he has, it's almost impossible to remember everything. Methuselah suddenly stops after he feels a presence by his cave.
Oh, hello there. Would you like something to eat? Everything's off now, but I can get the stoves going. I hope you weren't waiting here long.
Methuselah tries to be kind, thinking it's just some random kaiju who came to eat. It's not unheard of. Until he feels that uneasy sensation again. Methuselah takes a deep breath in fear. Suddenly, a long shadow that Methuselah had thought was being cast by a rock near the top of his cave suddenly separated from itself, that apparently had been standing there for a very long time watching Methuselah approach the cave, and suddenly ran to become one with the darkness off in the wilderness.
Oh dear. Oh.
Methuselah quickly turns around as fast as he possibly can and decides that it's probably a better idea to go head back the way he came and through the hollow earth, because he has no intention on staying anywhere near his cave tonight.
Delenchanan. Aduanitina. Aduachiniatachen. Hauno. Aulo. Audushina.
Scylla is meditating in her studio home in the Hollow Earth. Her home is a scintillating icy cave castle, the inside of it adorned by bioluminescent creatures and creations. Scylla has an ethereal art style, creating astoundingly geometrically correct spherical objects from ice and crafting them into planets, ones she's seen in her dreams and in the outer earth.
Who is it?
It is Brandy. The voice answers after it knocks. Scylla quickly unfolds her legs and rises, but not to her full height. The ceiling won't allow it. She carefully crawls through towards the entrance. She slides aside a thick, sheety curtain made of some unknown material that she unhooks from a piece of the ice and opens up so Brandy can come in. Brandy is a large, deep pink kaiju with a dinosaurian head, a beastly body, and arachnid legs.
Brandy, it is so nice to see you.
The both of them hug.
It has been a long time.
I agree, it has. How have you been? How is your father?
Oh, his life in this realm is over.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that.
Oh, please don't be. He enjoyed his life in this body. Right near the end, I was able to get him to see the true spirituality of our existence. His eyes were so open. He was in such joy. Oh, I am so happy for him.
That sounds wonderful.
It was wonderful. And I was next to him. I was with him to the end. I wonder where he will go to next. I cannot stop thinking about it. Now that I know that death is not final, I keep wondering, where is he going? Where are we going to go? Are we going to see each other again?
I don't know, but right now we have to concentrate on fulfilling the rest of our journey.
Yes, this is truth.
Well, speaking of that, how is your journey map going?
It is going well. I've made a lot of expressions.
Oh, that is good to hear. Can I see them?
Of course, yes. Please, go ahead. They're in the art room.
Brandy goes to inspect Scylla's latest art, and Scylla hears something. She looks into a dark corner in the room she's in, and she sees movement. Maybe it's just the shadows. But then she looks harder, and she feels a presence. She can see a tiny, tiny hint of micro movements from the shadow. Nothing should be moving in the room she's in that would be casting that shadow. Scylla has an uneasy feeling. She continues staring at it.
Hey! Are you alright?
I saw something. I felt something. A darkness.
Brandy looks around the room and the corner and sees nothing.
Are you okay?
Brandy, I don't know how to explain, but what I saw was a depth of darkness and...
Scylla, I am an empath, and I cannot feel anything, so it must be something internally you are struggling with.
The two friends sit quietly as if contemplating what was just said when there is a knock at the entrance to Scylla's place.
Wait here.
Scylla goes to the entrance to find a large Methuselah there smiling back at her.
Old friend. Young friend. Is this a bad time? Unexpected, but never a bad time. I let you in through the back.
It's not like she had a choice, since the only thing that would have been able to fit through the entrance is Methuselah's head and one of his shoulders. Methuselah enters through the back and sees Brandy there.
Ah, greetings, old chief.
Oh, I remember you. I don't recall your name.
Brandy.
Brandy smiles. Such reverence she shows to Methuselah, knowing he's one of the oldest kaiju.
Oh, Brandy. Nice to meet you again, Brandy.
I think the last time I saw you, I was very little. Like, not even the size of your foot.
You are so much larger than I remember, up close and in person.
Yes, yes, my size has always been imposing. It's a good thing that this room is raised, and the floor is dipped. Otherwise, I would not be able to fit in here.
Scylla smiles. I always try to make my home in a way that will accommodate my friends. I've kept you in mind.
Thank you, Scylla. You're so kind. Such a kind friend you are. It is relieving to be among friends tonight.
Brandy smiles and extends her legs and stretches. I will make some soup for us. Oh, Brandy, you are so compassionate. Thank you.
No salt in mine, please. It's a bit late in the day for me. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure, says Brandy, making her way out of the room, more so to give Scylla and Methuselah some time alone. Scylla uses one of her long legs to pat Methuselah on the thigh. Are you all right, old friend? Methuselah shivers and then looks into a dark corner of the living room, the place Scylla had seen the dark figure, or thought she had. Scylla follows Methuselah's gaze, and her nerves quake. She looks back at Methuselah. Did he see what she saw?
Scylla, I saw something the other night.
Yes? She encouraged, waiting eagerly for him to continue.
It was a presence at my cave, but it felt wrong.
Like a darkness.
Yes, a terrible darkness.
They both sit there in silence for a while as they hear Brandy knocking the stone pots around in the cooking room. Methuselah perks up and then turns to fully face Scylla. Her eyes momentarily ice over.
And what is even more strange is that Behemoth and I found an immense bright stone, more of a boulder, really.
Where?
In a place I would say I've never seen it before, or anything like it.
Ah, maybe someone built it.
I don't know, but it is so bright at times you don't want to look right at it. Oh, Scylla, it's breathtaking.
You can see it well.
We were able to go up right next to it. It seems to hum, and there's just something about it that feels strange. I've never seen anything like that in all my time alive.
I don't believe that, Ancient One. Surely you have, but you don't remember.
Maybe so, but not in the Hollow Earth.
Did you tell the king?
I tried to, but he was not in the mind to hear.
Scylla noted that Godzilla didn't seem to think it was important, but when Methuselah says that he's never seen something or that there is something new, that's all she needs to pique her interest. Brandy comes into the room and brings them their soup and sits down to eat with them. Scylla gives Methuselah a knowing look as she sips her soup, her tentacles curling away from the heat, both her and Methuselah not wanting to disclose anything to Brandy. Godzilla and Rodan reach a section of wide sea that's darker than the rest of the water, and Rodan says as much.
Where is this place? Why does the water look like tar?
Why does your face look like whale junk? Who knows? Well, this is it.
It is? Why do I have a bad feeling about this? And how did I not know about this place?
Godzilla says, wagging a finger at Rodan as he then turns over on his back to float on the surface, his tail swaying from side to side.
There's some things that only I should know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Can you dive?
Down there in the dark? No, I'm good.
Okay, I mean, you can't just hover up here, like Mothra. You'll bring attention to yourself and then to me.
Rodan flaps and looks around.
There's a rock in the distance. I'll wait there.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure I'm sure.
Okay. You better be here when I get back. I don't want to be waiting for you. If I need to go, I'm just gonna go.
Don't worry. I'll see you when you surface.
Alright, cool.
And with that, Godzilla makes a big dive. Rodan is experienced enough to know that he should get out of the way when Godzilla's diving, because Godzilla's tail whips up into the air to stand erect before sinking back down into the depths as he propels himself down into the deep. Rodan does not like swimming. He understands that the water gets darker the deeper it goes, but there's something very disconcerting about the water being very dark from the very top. Godzilla is diving for what feels like 30 minutes until he reaches an area. He looks around and then levels himself out. He then calls out. A long, hairy white monster appears from the depths and wraps herself around Godzilla, bringing him deeper than he's ever been. Godzilla tries to scratch and bite at the assailant, but his arms and legs are completely constricted.
Are you fucking kidding me? Hey!
Godzilla looks towards the head of the creature that's buried in the darkness below. Godzilla can't see past his nose. After a while, he just stops struggling and rolls his eyes and just lays back for the ride. He can feel the pressure increasing of the water as it gets deeper. Ordinarily, he would have used his atomic breath by now, but he figures this is part of it. He has been unceremoniously taken to the depths before. This is a very secret place, so understandably, there would be heavy security.
You don't really have to squeeze me that tight, you know that, right? I swear to God, I'm gonna blast your fucking never-ending story ass to Kingdom Come when we get where we're going.
Suddenly, there's a lot of chaos, and the water is churning, and Godzilla is alone. The large serpentine white creature is no longer there. His arms and legs are free.
That's what I thought. You better run, or swim.
Ugh. Godzilla can hear something circling around him. It's not the thing that wrapped around him, but something of a similar body type.
Oh, so we like playing games in the dark, do we?
Godzilla ordinarily can see in the dark, but this place? For some reason, his eyes don't work down here, and he has to rely on his hearing and his smell. Suddenly, Godzilla is ambushed by other serpentine kaiju. One moves in, takes a chunk out of him, and then another takes its place. Godzilla has counted 3 creatures, but they are so fast that even Godzilla is having a hard time registering their movements. This does not feel like the welcoming party that he expected. He closes his eyes and senses their presence. Now he can pick up their movement as they are circling around him slowly, waiting for a next attack. Suddenly, one comes in. Godzilla opens back his eyes and barrel rolls, kicking the thing in the head. Before its tail can pass by him, he opens up his jaws and slams it down the tail of the creature.
Fuck are you going?
He yells out as he thrashes it like a crocodile, back and forth, up and down, ripping chunks of meat out of it. He can feel the movement of the other 2 serpentine creatures coming after him. He uses his tail and swats them in their bodies. Their bodies are hardy, but definitely not as hardy as his. Now that he knows they're more soft and squishy than he is, this reinvigorates him. He smiles to himself even though he can't see anything. Opening up his jaws, he releases a very small sect of his atomic breath. In doing so, he creates a light blue bubble of floating atomic energy. He momentarily sees all 3 of the creatures with their large dragon-like faces and huge mouths with teeth as long as Godzilla's head. The one in the middle slices through the bubble of atomic energy. It cries out in pain and the other 2 follow. Godzilla dives under the one charging at him and grabs it by one of its tiny little feet on the back end of its tail. Opening up his mouth, he blasts the other 2 with atomic energy. But because of their long serpentine bodies, they're able to quickly move and writhe out of the way, their bodies literally making a hole for the atomic beam to go through. The 2 creatures split off into different directions. Godzilla still has a hole in the other one.
Come here, dirty bitch!
Godzilla's predatory drive goes into overdrive. He bites down harder, and using his arm, he pushes it against the serpentine creature's body, ripping the leg clean off. He then uses the tail to slap the creature's head before it can get away, bringing its head back closer to Godzilla, who then is face to face with the creature. The eyes of the creature are large, but completely white as Godzilla can see under the glow of his dorsal plates. Both the serpentine creature and Godzilla try to bite each other in the face. The dragon-like sea monster gains the advantage, with its jaws being so much larger, being able to fit right over Godzilla's head. He can feel one of its very long teeth sinking into his gills. He sputters, not being able to breathe momentarily. He thrashes his head to and fro. The creature then wraps its body around Godzilla, blood seeping out the back end where its leg had been severed.
Don't play with me!
As the creature is opening its jaw to put it further over Godzilla's body, trying to swallow him, like a snake, Godzilla is able to writhe out of its grasp. He quickly does a backflip in the water, slicing the creature open with his tail tip. The power in his tail, because of how fast he was able to do that flip, cut the creature straight through its neck. Godzilla then dove and quickly came back up before the creature could even recover. And while the creature's whiskers are frantically twitching, trying to figure out where Godzilla is, it is suddenly hit with the force of 100 meteors as Godzilla slams his muzzle into the cut in the creature's neck, completely severing the creature's head. The king of the monsters had just used his body like a knife to cut the creature's head clean off its body. Godzilla growls and looks to the left where he can see the head floating. The part of it that had been attached to the rest of the body is glowing a bright blue, from where his atomic energy had seared it from his dorsal plates going through. The other two creatures had been hanging back, but Godzilla can still sense them close by.
That's right, bitches. That's how we roll where I'm from.
They screech in anger and seemingly hurt. They charge towards Godzilla, and he rubs his hands together, waiting for another fight.
Please, stop.
An ethereal voice calls out from the depths. Godzilla rolls his eyes inwardly.
This is how you greet an old friend?
Says Godzilla, thrashing his tail in frustration. Right at that time, two large glowing eyes appear right in front of Godzilla.
I do so apologize. This was not my intention to greet you this way. I did not know you were coming to visit.
Yeah, I miss you too, Manda. Alright, we need to sit down and talk. Let's cut the shit and get right to business.
Godzilla is led by Manda through a very large hole in a structure under the depths of the sea. Godzilla can sense other serpentine creatures in the area. They all hiss at him as he goes by. They do not like the fact that he's here. Manda swims up, and Godzilla follows until they break the surface, and they're inside a very luxurious golden crystal-like cave. Manda's long snake-like body slides into the rocks. Behind one of them, he flicks the end of his tail, and bright light beams throughout the entire cave like a chain reaction until the whole thing is lit. Godzilla chuckles.
You always had a way of showing off when you didn't have much to. Still overcompensating, I see.
So, what brings you here, my friend? My old friend.
Why does that feel like an insult? Anyway, as much as I'd like to admit that I'm here to see you because we miss each other so much and all that fuckery, that's not why I'm here. See, you gave me something a long time ago that was very valuable, and it's just very surprising that you, being one of the only people who know about it, would come back and take it from me. I just don't understand what that's about. I don't know if you're not feeling well or you're going senile or something. I just want to give you the benefit of the doubt before I start cutting other heads off for you to give me back my crystals.
Manda's whiskers twitch, and then he momentarily uses the tip of his tail to clean his horns. He then just stares at Godzilla.
What are you waiting for, a fucking treat? Why are you just standing there? Can I have my crystals back? Consider this a courtesy, because I usually don't ask.
Oh, I was waiting for a punchline. I didn't think you were actually serious.
I'm as serious as the death of your friend back there. Yeah.
Godzilla scratches his chin, waiting impatiently, preparing to kill Manda if he has to.
Oh, but old friend, I don't have them. I never take back gifts that I give.
Alright, you slow-talking retard. Listen, let's just cut the shit, okay? How else are all my crystals missing? Are you in debt or something? Did you take out more than you could pay back?
Godzilla, you know me well. I've never been one to lie. Nor did anyone that I know of take your crystals.
Godzilla stares at Manda, long and sinisterly, For some reason, he believes that Manda is telling the truth. But then, if it wasn't Manda, who could it have been? Manda has his own little empire going in this little small part of this secret ocean. But just like Godzilla has a hard time sometimes keeping a handle of things and surveilling the creatures around him that are supposed to be loyal to him despite everything, Manda may have the same problems.
Okay.
Godzilla says, tapping his claw on his knee as he sits there staring at Manda. He then puts his palm up to the ceiling.
So, have any ideas? Can you explain what is happening?
I don't know. To be perfectly candid, I'm actually surprised that you still had them.
Okay, alright, fine. Let's say it's not you. Who would steal from me, Manda? Who?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Says Manda as he uncoils himself and starts slithering around the golden room. He then elegantly sways his dragon-like head back in Godzilla's direction. Godzilla now noticing how long his horns have gotten. Manda's horns are now half the size or length of his body. They are so long that they scratch the ceiling of this cavern that is so large that Godzilla could put 5 more of himself on top of himself and not reach the top.
But keep in mind, Godzilla, that you do have many enemies.
Godzilla decides that chances are Manda does not have the crystals. After all, Manda is so squishy that he wouldn't dare to steal from Godzilla, or at least go through the trouble of doing so. This definitely isn't Manda. And something told Godzilla when he was halfway on his journey here that Manda didn't do it. But he figured he'd start there first, and maybe Manda would know who. Now Godzilla's mind is reeling. He sits there catching up with Manda for a while before they go back down into the little area of the pool where they would rejoin the rest of the ocean.
So how have things been? I mean, you've obviously gotten larger. You still a virgin or what?
Manda smiles. But he always smiles in this weird, coy, cunning fox type of way.
I have been well. I have a family now.
Oh shit, really? Damn, Manda. Alright, I see you. So you have a girl and everything?
I have several wives. You just killed one of them. Back there.
Oh shit, okay. Oh shit. Wow.
There is silence between them as they stare at each other. Godzilla slaps his thighs nervously.
Okay, well, you know how it goes. Anyway, clearly you didn't steal the crystals, so, alright, I guess you can escort me. Or I can escort myself.
Godzilla says awkwardly, scratching his forehead, not really knowing how to deal with the situation. He can't get a read on Manda. It doesn't really look like he's all that upset. Godzilla wouldn't be either if he had a bunch of women, and he had more to choose from. Godzilla swings his arms and then slaps his hands together.
Well, you know what I always say, don't put your eggs in one basket, or your egg makers in one.
I'll escort you.
Yeah, please, thanks.
Godzilla resurfaces in the dark scene. He looks around for Rodan and sees him nowhere.
Are you freaking serious? Come on! Oh my god. Rhodes! Where are you at? You're making the king wait. Like, I know you can. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going home. What?
Long, dark blue tentacles grab Godzilla and take him into the sky at breakneck speed. Godzilla claws and fights his way through the tentacles as much as he can. Chomping down his teeth on a few of them, they snap, and to his horror, he watches as they regrow and continue to shroud him in darkness. Mothra goes to a club in the Hollow Earth. Another kaiju gives her a pill required for entry, and it doesn't take long before she can feel the effects. She's dancing her sorrows away, swaying as she witnesses so many colors that she could swear she's never seen before. She remembers getting this blasted in a previous life, but it's been so long. A fleeting moment of the pain she's been feeling shows its head, and she dances it away.
Old guy, old man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out that chain gang. Why do they wanna move like that?
A strange bioluminescent jelly-like kaiju caresses Mothra's wings and pulls her close with 4 of his tentacles. Mothra loves feeling her body being touched. She wants to forget about everything, all the responsibility, all her emotions, all of the hurt. She briefly imagines Rodan touching her, and then she turns around completely to face the kaiju, who ironically doesn't seem to have a face, just a gelatinous mound for a head. She can tell it's a male, and she can tell he's also wasted. She doesn't even know if he knows that he's with her. One of his tentacles come up to her face, and she bats it away with one of her legs, until she realizes that the tentacle is adamantly but gently trying to push something into her mouth. Seeing that it's another type of pill, Mothra just opens her mouth to let it dissolve, not even knowing what it does. It doesn't take long before her entire body and nerve endings are alight with sensations that makes her feel like she's constantly riding the edge. The tentacles of this person felt good before, but now they really feel good. Mothra can even feel the breath from other sweaty kaiju, and each sensation she feels is ecstasy. The tentacles of the kaiju touching her back, her wings, her neck, her legs makes her feel like each of those parts are having their own climax. Mothra moans in intense pleasure. The kaiju who is all over her body knows what he's doing and reaches down below towards her little slit and hovers over the area teasing it, waiting for Mothra to become desperate enough to force it in. Mothra is climbing in her sensation, and right before he can go in, she realizes what she's doing. And even though she wants this, she doesn't want to be this vulnerable.
So I can't see the ground. So I ain't coming down. So no, I ain't ever coming down. Rise up from the ashes, wings on my back, stay lit like a matchstick. We ain't coming back, I swear.
Still extremely high, Mothra realizes this is not a position she wants to be in. She pushes off the kaiju, who is so high himself that he doesn't get the hint, and she leaves the club.
Make my wrist ring. The zero gravity keeps elevating me.